And God bless you. This is Ellen Mongan. Do you have just a minute to stop and pause? Today is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. It's a rainy day in Georgia. Do rainy days ever get you down? Not me. Rainy days are good. They give you a chance to refresh, do some inside chores, maybe clean a garage, and catch up on your paperwork. It's a good day to read a book. Watch the sun come out later in the day. It's a good day to call a friend, to write a letter. Rainy days are not getting me down today. I have a friend in Florida, and one day I asked her why she started a certain magazine she was writing. She said, my friends and I, we wanted a reason to wake up in the morning and start our day. Well, I thought that was an excellent idea. What is God calling you to do that gets you excited, that makes you want to wake up and start your day? It's so important to have that enthusiasm towards the goal you're making. It's a scripture that goes like this. Keep on doing what's right, and in due time, you'll reap a harvest. Let me repeat it. Keep on doing what's right, and in due time, you'll reap a harvest. I use it a lot in my podcast because sometimes the mundaneness of life, the everyday ordinary of doing the same thing over and over again, especially your mom or dad, or stay-at-home mom and dad, it gets you down. You go, okay, it's just another day. But what a way to look at it and say, what does God have for me today? So keep on doing what's right, and in due time, you reap a harvest. I am trying to make a schedule for myself because I now do many things that are in the same vein of my ministry. Wow, Mom, I'm getting ready to start a another podcast. This one will be called Go Tell the World. I have 12 co-hosts with me. We'll be on the air and we'll discuss topics instead of just books. Go Tell the World. Wednesday will be Ann DeSantis and Bill Snyder. They're from a ministry called the Patchwork Heart Ministry. And they're going to be talking about hearts. How perfect is that? It's going to be about some different trials they've overcome and faced in their life. You won't want to miss that podcast. Mother Teresa one time said to a woman, that I got to read this part because I think it's so important. A woman was saying that she felt like she was beginning to give up, like every day was the same, and she was wanting life to be a little more important or momentum. So challenged by a friend. We ourselves, she asked Mother Teresa, the friend poured out her frustrations, that her effort to help seemed to make no difference at all in the quality of lives of thousands of poor people. Mother placed her strong, worn-out hands on hers and said, we ourselves feel that what we are doing is just a drop in the ocean, instead of a drop in the bucket. But if that drop was not in the ocean, I think the ocean would be less because of the missing drop. Do you feel like a drop in the ocean today? That's her book, Mother Teresa, Reaching Out in Love. Do you feel like you're a drop in the ocean today or a drop in the bucket? Do you feel like you're mundane, that you've lost your get up and go and you just don't want to get up and go anywhere at the Georgia rainy day? Nope. Everything you do is important. If you ever watched The Karate Kid, which I thought was a phenomenal lesson in the area of learning how to do something. First he was just going on the car, wash on, wash off, wash on. Then he was just painting the fence. But every move he was making was getting him towards a goal. He was blind to what the goal was. Often we're blind to what is God even doing in my life. We're doing the mundane. Paint, up and down, wash on, wash off. But in reality, those moves that we're making are towards a goal that God himself knows. What is God asking you to do today? Is he asking you to paint a fence? Is he asking you to wash a car? Is he asking you to learn the skills he has before you? I love the scripture. It's everywhere now for me. Come to me, all you are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Rest. Take my yoke upon me and learn from me, because I'm a gentle and humble teacher, and I only give you light burdens. Our goal is to get on that narrow gate, that narrow walk, and to walk along with Christ himself each day, and to give us his nail-scar hand each day to take and to walk with him. We have that choice. Do I walk with Jesus or I run ahead on my own? I hope you choose to walk with Jesus today. We're up teaching this week in Macon, Georgia. Father Johnny Johnson, or John Johnson, was at the meeting. It was Catholic Medical Association. Father John is a person who grew up with my children, so it's such a refreshment to hear him speak in such an eloquent and brilliant way. He also is the pastor at St. Joseph's Church in Macon, Georgia, where a lot of our friends reside, and we went to one of our many places that God sent us in ministry. So Father Johnny shared about eyes of wonder. That was in his whole talk, but that was the part where my eyes popped up with wonder. I always wonder why I like to be around children more than adults, because they never lose those eyes of wonder. And Father Johnny asked the audience a question: why do you think people lose their eyes of wonder? I would raise my hand and say, I know, but I wasn't a doctor in the room. I wasn't even a nurse in the room. I was just a fly on the wall. So I thought to myself, I'm going to do a podcast about that eyes of wonder, and that's why I'm putting it in here. We lose our eyes of wonder as a child, as we grow up, because we begin to think it's all about me. I want my way. I want to do it my way. I don't care what you think. I know better. These are the ways we lose our eyes of wonder. Instead of walking through life learning and listening and hearing for God's still small voice, we want it our way. Burger King's the only place you can have it your way. In this real world, unless you're two, we have to live under certain requirements from the Lord in our homes and in our country, in our lives. We just stop at a red light, for instance. What if everybody went through? No, I want it my way. I'm going right through. Hopefully you'll get a ticket. I pray you get one myself. What if you just want to do it your way in the home, and the whole home had to center only around you and what you thought, what you want to do? Well, you know what? That's a way to lose your eyes of wonder. I love when they say, I think it was Bob Garrett that taught me this, to say, I'll take it to prayer. If someone gives you a suggestion or has an opinion or wants to tell you kind of what to do, I'll take it to prayer, especially if you don't witness it. Sometimes you'll have free advice, and they have critical spirits, and you know that. So when they come to give you a suggestion, it's really a my way or the highway. You can detect that really easily by looking at their face when they say it. However, back to my subject. Keep on doing what's right. In due time, you reap a harvest. If you have eyes of wonder, and you listen and learn, and listen to the voice of God, you can keep on doing what's right, and each day grow in the person God wants you to be. I'm going to put a little crown on my head. God has a crown, an invisible crown. That's not really a crown, but it's kind of cool. A crown to give each one of us. And he wants us to walk through life doing little things with great love for him. I wrote a little children's story about the invisible crown in our head. Now, each time we do something for Jesus out of love for him, we get another jewel in our crown. Here's the first one. That's a paperback. You want to have this book. It's very well done. Interesting. There's some interesting illustrations. Great job. You could catch a podcast about Who Will Wear the Crown, which is the title by Ellen Mongan. I actually wrote it with my grandbaby, Elle Young, not such a baby anymore. She's in high school. And there's also comes in a hardback. It may be a great Christmas gift for everyone, one and all. And it's a great story. My life lesson series of books for children. I'm going to take my crown off. I was not going to take a bow. Only Jesus takes a bow. My life lessons for children help the adults learn along the way. As the children are read the story by the mom or dad or aunt or uncle or sister or brother, they're learning the lessons too. That's the beauty of writing. The words are sown in your heart and your soul. They pop back up just when you need them. Isn't that the way with words of wisdom? God tries to seal them in your heart so when you need advice, do what is right, they come forth and you have to listen. What happens when you don't listen? Does God run away? No, actually you moved. And you have to seek him with your whole heart. Scripture says, seek the Lord while he may be found. Run to him. Run to him. I was in Mass yesterday, and of course I'm older. I'm 70, and I was kneeling. I had an accident with knees one time when I fell over a printer. It was a shredder. And my knees went to land a black and blue for like almost a year in fever heat. It was like a horrible time in my life. And so I couldn't really kneel that long, especially in those days. Now I can do fine. But I was stood up before the line was up for the Eucharist. And Father had just talked about running to Jesus. And so this little teenager, I think, was being the usher, and she could see that I was up before my time, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just running to Jesus." We need to run to him with enthusiastic hearts, with eyes of wonder, knowing that little drop in the ocean that we feel is mundane or not necessary really is building something for the future and is blessing others. Hey, don't be asleep, my friend. Christians, wake up. This is our time to put into practice all that God has taught you. Those who are mature in the Lord, listen up. Find the reason why God has you wake up in the morning. No one is here to do nothing. Everyone's here to do something great for God. Finishing up. When I was a little girl, my daddy said, life is an empty canvas, and you can paint on it whatever you want to paint. I said, what do you want to paint on your canvas, Ellen? I said, I want to paint a masterpiece. And that's just what I did. I had very little, as a child, knowledge of what I was going to do with my life. I wanted to be a nun, so that didn't work because I married and had children. And I was a stewardess. That wasn't anything I would fall back on. But God made me a writer and a speaker, and he made me a woman of God, a Titus 2 mentor. So if you don't know what God has for you, just keep waxing on and waxing off. Paint that fence. Learn those movements and skills. They're building a masterpiece. You don't see maybe right now, but one day you will. So this is Ellen Mongan from Wow Mom. Put those jewels on your crown. Live for God. Wake up and be a strong woman and man of God. Standing for what is right. Never tire, even if you stand alone. Thank you for joining me. Ellen Mongan. Wow Mom. Have a great day.